I'm not even fully ready. I just need a minute. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and I'll be ready.
Venus versus Rebel.
You
Here,
got
look, guys,
Venus.
we can get 90,000 likes before they start debating. Like we
Everybody
can
liked
get
the live.
faster. We
Like,
can get 100,000 by the end. I told you.
yeah. I mean, we're really close. Like,
You guys,
everybody.
listen. We appreciate you guys. You guys have been doing amazing. Like we appreciate everybody that's watching, all the debaters. This is what we were looking for. Just spreading the knowledge. People can join to their love. What's up, Tarzan? Shout out Tarzan in the building. We're just waiting for Venus to get ready, and we'll start the next debate.
Oh
Yeah,
my
but
god!
before
Don't
that,
even drag it. We're like half an hour late, so don't play.
okay, like, you want to get it started? But come on, guys, like tap your screens. Let's hit like 90,000 likes on the live. But we really appreciate all of the likes. Tap your screens, or we're gonna like turn off the No, I'm kidding. Like, I don't understand those live creators that like threaten their audience.
Yeah,
So,
no comments.
like, tap the screens, or we'll turn off the comments. But no, just please tap your screens if you can. If you can't, that's fine. But we appreciate the likes. But Venus, you ready? Oh wait, actually, she went to the bathroom. Okay, so she'll be back. Rebel, how you doing?
Yo, what's good, guys? Mr. Coco, thank you for blocking me. I guess you kind of had to for this event. So,
I'm
you
gonna be
know,
honest. I forgot like why I blocked you, or like why you were blocked in the first place. I don't know what you did, but like I don't know. It's water on the bridge.
you see, I tend to, as a rebel, I tend to hold very controversial opinions that tend to trigger people, and so, I think I expressed one of those opinions one too many times. And I think you just, had the last straw. But Mr. Carlo, good to see you. Thanks for, you know, invited me to do this. I haven't really done something like this before, but I guess we'll see how it goes.
Okay,
And
do
to be
you
honest,
first? Who's going first?
let me see.
I guess the affirmative position
So
goes first, right?
yes, that would be you, Rebel. And you have 3 minutes for your opening. 3 minutes for your opening statement. And in regards to the schedule, technically this debate is supposed to start at 10:08 p.m. and we're 2 minutes behind. We're 2 minutes ahead, actually. So we're doing pretty good on time. We're not late at all.
Do you want to do
We're
3 to 5 minute cross exams?
Well, since we're on time, that means you guys shouldn't have to take away from our cross exam time, right?
Yeah, you guys can just have the 5 minutes and we'll run the whole thing. So
Okay, whatever.
I would say, Rebel, we can start your 3 minute opening statement anytime you want to.
Okay. All right, let's do it.
Go
Right.
ahead.
So, was the universe designed? I would say, of course it was. In my view, this should be blatantly obvious and simply be accepted as self-evident. But for some reason, perhaps due to a great delusion or spiritual blindness that the devil has imparted unto the world through deceptive measures, people have rejected the crystal clear design of the world. Now, my opponent will most likely take a very pessimistic approach and try to highlight the undesirable, quote, evils of the world and try to, things like cancer and this kind of thing, or try to use things like the Big Bang and abiogenesis and evolution as a counter to the necessity of God's intelligent agency. But these paradigms, under a closer eye of scrutiny, render nothing more than just an atheist creation myth masquerading under the disguise of science. So my argument goes as the following. It's known as the teleological argument or design argument from design. So all contingent effects have a cause, as per the principle of causality. All effects that exhibit similar patterns of order, structure, and function typically share a similar cause. If aspects of the universe exhibit characteristics found in human artifacts, then it is reasonable to infer that they may share a similar cause, in this case, intelligent design. Man-made artifacts, we know, exhibit order, structure, information, function, and beauty, all of which are known to be products of intelligent design. Nature also exhibits order, structure, intricately detailed complexity, specified functionality, and beauty, but to a much higher degree that overwhelmingly surpasses human artifacts. So the conclusion, therefore, is that in order to come to the most plausible conclusion through abductive reasoning, these properties observed in nature are best explained as the result of intelligent design by a higher being, of whom we refer to as the Almighty God. Thank you.
Are you concluding your time there?
Yeah.
Okay, you had 35 seconds left on the clock. Venus, you can start your opening statement anytime that you
Can
want.
everyone hear me clearly?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, today I will be arguing the opposition of the universe being intelligently designed. Intelligence is the ability to learn and apply complex knowledge to solve problems. And a design would simply be a manifestation of an idea or ideas. When we use the term intelligent design, it is indicative of the character of the designer, whereby it would be a product of the application of their knowledge to solve problems and or fulfill an intended purpose. A pencil, for example, is considered intelligently designed, yet a pencil is not intelligent. AI, known to be artificial intelligence, would be intelligently designed and intelligent. The traits both a pencil and AI exhibit typically are a record of when they were designed and their ability to execute intended purposes efficiently. This indicates their designer had the ability to problem solve and apply knowledge, which are faculties of good intelligent design. The opposite of intelligent design seems to be poorly designed things. We typically consider something to be a poor design if it does not intelligently execute its said purpose. A poorly designed pencil, for example, breaks every time you try to write with it. You may be able to write a sentence or two, but overall it does not fulfill said purpose. This says that the designer is unintelligent when the design cannot do what it is intended to do. When it comes to things that we can't trace back to a said inventor, we experiment with whether these things can occur naturally outside of human interaction, to suggest rather that poorly put together that these things were simply not put together by humans at all or by an agent. We know that there is no first rock because rocks aren't designed. We can't trace an inventor, and we see rocks forming everywhere without any sort of intelligent design. Claiming that there is one, like my opponent may do, does not show us that there is one. Stephen Hawking suggests that if the universe is fine-tuned for anything, it is for the production of black holes. This is because the constants of the universe lead to life being very, very, very scarce, and the life that does exist is very fleeting. And more often than not, things stay dead for way longer than they are alive. If the world was fine-tuned for life, it seems that life only occurs on Earth. And it seems that we can fit about 3 million Earths into a black hole. So black holes seem to be much more abundant than life. There is no indication that we or the universe are designed. If, however, we were designed for anything, it would be for death and black holes. Arguing anything otherwise would prove that the so-called intelligent designer is not really intelligent.
And are you
Do we have
concluding
more
your
time?
time there?
Do we, was that under 3 minutes?
Yeah, you have 13 seconds left.
Okay, I timed it good then.
Okay,
Yes,
cool.
I'm conceding the rest of my time.
Okay, that was perfect. So now we're going to go into cross-examination. Rebel, you have 5 minutes to cross-examine Venus, and this will be round 1. So whenever you're ready.
Right. Okay. So I'll get into the cross exam right away, but just as a quick response, the sort of the last part of what Venus said, of course, would not work for someone like me. I don't know if Carla or whoever told her any of my positions, but as a flat earther, or someone who believes we live on a level stationary topographical plane enclosed in a dome, just as the Bible says, this whole idea that the universe is made up by majority of black holes and other shit like this is not gonna fly with me, because as far as I'm concerned, space is fake and Earth is flat. Anyway, so thing is, so Venus, have you been to a natural landscape before? Like one with trees and a forest and mountains in the background, maybe a waterfall, perhaps a pristine lake, wildlife around.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes.
I've seen those things.
Okay, you see them in person, like you've actually been there before.
Yes.
Okay. Um, So those different aspects that I just described, would you say that they were designed by a mind of some sort?
Why would I say that?
So the answer is no. Okay. So now take that same landscape with the same elements, and if you just picture it in your mind, and say you saw that exact same image on a canvas with paint, would you say that that was designed by a mind?
Of course, because we see people paint things, but we don't see people build waterfalls.
Uh-huh. I see. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you see
Okay.
people paint things, but
So
you don't see people
so
making waterfalls.
it would be designed by who we know as an artist then. Okay. So let me get
By
this
one
straight.
of the
So
criteria that I mentioned
no, wait,
being
wait,
the
wait.
fact that
It's
we
my
can
time. It's
trace
my
it
time.
back to a
Doing this respectfully. It's my time. You can ask me questions during your
okay.
time, respectfully.
Yeah,
So
all right.
So let me get this straight. So the landscape on the artistic painting was designed by your own admission, but somehow the natural landscape by which the artist was inspired by in the first place was not. Is that right?
Because we see people painting, but we don't see people making waterfalls.
Okay, so the answer is yes. Okay, yeah.
I
It's,
told
I
you
mean,
this already. I
this
don't
is
want to take
fascinating.
over your
This is
time, but
hilarious. This is fascinating. Right.
I
So
already
next question.
told
Next
you this.
question. Next
I
question.
already
Next
told you
question.
this.
Look, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, right. Next question. So, look, I'm asking you very pointed, not so open-ended questions because I know you'll just like yap my ear off if I do otherwise. Right. So anyway, here's the
Okay.
thing. Would you agree that at the very least, what the painting and the actual landscape have in common is their aesthetic value? Like, they look the same.
Um, Aesthetic value is in one is inspired by the other. They look
No,
the
as in
same.
they have the
They
same
look the
look.
same.
Yeah, so therefore, at the very least, what they have in common is their aesthetic value. In fact, maybe you can even say the natural landscape has even more, you can say. This is a very simple question. Like, they both look the same, therefore, on one aspect, they have the same aesthetic value, correct?
If your definition of aesthetic value is look the same, then I guess depends on
Okay,
what you're
okay,
painting.
okay, very good.
Could it
So,
be that maybe one
would
is
you say,
inspired by the other?
so Venus, would you say that one is superior over the other in any sense that you can think of? Any sense?
No,
No.
no.
Okay, right. Okay, so very good. So here's the last thing. So the fact that the natural landscape, which is an actual three-dimensional place where you can literally be surrounded by the environment and take in all the sensory experiences that it has to offer, like the warmth of the sun, the majestic stature of the
You're
mountains,
asking me
the calming
subjective
ripples of
things.
hold
You're
on, hold on.
asking
Don't
me
interrupt me, please. Don't
subjective
interrupt me.
things.
Don't
Why the
no,
hell
this is
does
my
it
time. Go ahead
matter
and stop
if
it. I
I
know you're
like
triggered.
nature
I know
or
you're
not?
triggered. So I do Venus, I know you're triggered, but it's okay. Like, let me get it out. The majestic stature of the mountains, the calming ripples of the lake, the breeze of the wind, the rustling of the trees and leaves, the songs of the birds, the smell of the flowers, the possibly even the taste of the wild blueberries, or maybe even the deer game that you can hunt and kill and eat, right? You're saying all of that and much more exists for no inherent purpose, but actually somehow assembled itself out of purely unguided, unintentional, random series of events.
And that's a question for me, right? So I'm gonna need like 30 seconds to answer that without you interrupting me. Doesn't matter whether it came about via randomness or whatever you want to say, unintentionality. These things didn't just come about through magic, right? They followed a specific pattern known as the laws of physics, right? And certain biological factors that led to these things combining. And you asking me whether I like waterfalls or not
Finish your answer.
is completely subjective. I don't really like nature. I don't really like being outside. So this
Too
whole
much.
aesthetic thing is simply based off of like personal
You're a
opinion. Like
weirdo.
how the
Okay, so,
but I
so you're
guess
just a
that's what
weirdo.
your argument is based.
Okay,
But that's what your argument is based off of a
we're stopping
confirmation
it there.
bias.
We're stopping
This
it there.
looks nice to me, so wow, it must be created.
Okay, we're stopping it there. Venus, it's
Okay,
time
you're
for
a
your
weirdo.
cross examination. You get to lead and ask questions. You can start anytime.
Yeah, sure. Rebel, do you think that everything that we look at was either designed by people or designed by God?
Not necessarily everything, no.
Okay, so if it's not, so God made everything, right?
Not everything, no.
So what didn't he make?
Uh, well, he didn't make human artifacts, for example, like cars and homes and
Okay, so I said
clothes
it's
and
either made
computers.
by us or made by him. So if it's not made by us, it's probably made by God, correct?
Not some things may be the indirect result of natural processes that weren't directly made by God.
But didn't God make the laws that those natural processes would follow?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so if it's intelligently designed, it's done by people or it's done by God, correct?
Either directly or indirectly.
Okay, so what is something that is directly made by God?
The origin of the universe and the origin of life.
Okay, that's not happening right now. So
Correct.
what is something right now that we can look at that is directly made by God?
Clearly, we don't need to do that because God set in place
So there's nothing. So
things in order
it's
to
either intelligently designed.
produce
So it's
more.
either intelligently designed by people or it's intelligently designed by God. If everything is intelligently designed or an indirect result of intelligent design, how are we to know whether something is or isn't intelligently designed if everything is designed? That was a question to you.
If things don't have the properties of order, structure, and function at the very least, then we have no good reasons to believe that they were designed.
But everything has order, structure, and function. There's nothing that doesn't have
No,
those
that's not
traits.
true.
How are we to?
That's not true.
Okay, so what's something that doesn't have order, structure, or some sort of function?
How about a pile of trash, for example?
A pile of trash has order. A pile of trash doesn't defy the laws of
What's the
physics.
order?
A pile of trash, the order is the fact that the atoms are assembled in a way that produces a physical thing. The pattern is that
What?
it abides by the laws of gravity.
Huh?
This thing
Wait,
has order. The atoms are ordered based
Wait,
off of its charges.
What? This
Just because
is the most insane
how
reductionist view I've ever
how
heard
is
in my
that
life.
insane?
Holy
Everything.
shit.
Okay, so are you telling me?
If
Okay, so are the atoms?
if you reduce
Are the
everything down to atoms, then like there's no
relax.
distinction to be made. What the fuck?
Relax. That's the point. That's the point here. If you can't make a distinction to see things that are not designed, how are you going to know that it is designed if you have no contrast? All you can do is gather these characteristics that seemingly everything has and then group it under designed. You're literally creating your own category and adding everything to it. You need some sort of distinction here so we understand the nature of the set of all things that are created. We need some sort of contrast so we can get the nature or the substance of things that are created. You have not provided one. Everything has order fundamentally. Everything is designed by either God or us fundamentally. How are we supposed to make a
So you conceded?
distinction between what is created or not? You've told me it has order. Everything follows the laws of physics. That's an order. Everything follows the laws of
Yeah,
chemistry,
and it
biology.
was given by a lawgiver.
Everything has an order.
By a
Yet we
lawgiver.
see
Where
it.
did the law come from,
Yeah,
Eunice?
but no.
Where did the law come from?
This is what I said that you would do. You're just claiming that the law comes from somewhere. It looks like everything fits in neatly because we have survived. We have evolved to survive here. I'll ask you one more question because
Evolved?
I feel like we're running out of time. If everything was created for us, why is it that everything is trying to unalive us? And why is it that it's so difficult for life to be sustained on planet Earth if it's made for us?
First of all, I disagree with the notion that everything is trying to unalive us. How, I mean, are you trying to unalive me? Is my phone like I'm sitting here completely fine? My life is under no
People
threat
are trying
whatsoever.
to, you're worrying about the semantics. People are constantly trying to unalive other people. There are bacteria
So
and
what?
viruses. You can literally go outside.
So what?
Most things, my point is, if this place is made for us, if the constants are tuned
Germ
for us
theory isn't
or
even
tuned
right.
for life, oh my God.
Germ
So do
theory is
you think
false.
that okay, that's cool, but do you think that the universe is tuned for life or for human life? What do you think it's fine tuned for?
Considering the Earth is the only realm of existence, absolutely, 100% yes.
You don't know that. Do you think that the earth is tuned for life?
It has to be by necessity.
I'm not asking. Okay, can you provide an argument for that?
If the Earth is the only realm of existence, and there's nothing else outside of Earth, because we're inside of this gigantic dome that the Bible
How
calls
do
a
you
firmament,
know
and
that?
it's only
How
God,
do you know
it's
that
only
there's rebel? How do you know that there's nothing else outside of earth?
Rebel, answer that, and that'll be it.
Because we have good evidence to believe that we are within an enclosed system
Doesn't
because
mean there's nothing else
one air
outside of
pressure.
it.
Well, let me just answer the question. One gas pressure is defined by the force of the molecules against the walls of the container. That's what the firmament would serve as. And we have literal empirical evidence
Not
of
true.
rockets going up and crashing into this dome.
Okay.
You haven't been to space. Nobody has.
Okay, we're done there. Rebel, this is going to be your second and last cross-examination, so you can start whenever.
Okay, very good. Okay, so let me see if I can go through these series. So Venus, if metals, plastics, and wires were scattered randomly in a workshop, could they ever assemble themselves into a fully operational computer or smartphone capable of running software and processing information?
Probably not.
Okay. How about if there were like metal circuits and wires, just sitting there? Could they accidentally assemble somehow into a functioning robot capable of performing complex tasks?
Probably not.
Wait. Do you say probably, meaning it's actually possible that it might actually happen?
You know, I don't hold to any sort of certainty of any kind, so I'm saying most likely it could not do these things. Why does that matter?
It's possible.
Sure. You think magic is dude, you literally think space isn't real, germs aren't real, and that magic exists.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know
Oh,
how
wow.
this is
You
how is
actually
this
think
so
it's possible.
crazy to you?
It's insane. You're
You
actually
literally believe in
Okay,
magic.
so
How
hold
is
on.
this crazy?
So hold on. So if it's given the lack of probability and being highly unlikely, if robots require intelligent engineers to design and program them, why wouldn't living organisms capable of far more complex tasks also require intelligent design?
What requires intelligent design?
Living organisms capable of far more complex tasks?
I don't think that they do. We don't require intelligent design. Are you gonna give an argument for why we
That's
do?
called begging the question.
This
You're
is
just begging the
this
question.
is getting
Okay, right. So
how
very
is
good.
that? I'm not making an
Venus,
argument. Begging
Venus,
the question is a fallacy when you're
I was
making
gonna
an
ask you this
argument.
question, but you already said no. So if I asked you, do you find nature beautiful? You said no because somehow you're like some weirdo emo. That's fine. So what about
Sometimes,
do you
yeah,
enjoy?
cool.
So Venus, do you enjoy eating delicious food?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Do you think sleeping with somebody that you find attractive to be one of the most pleasurable experiences that like a human can have?
I don't know.
What,
Is
you're a
this like
virgin or something?
real?
You're a virgin or something? You're a virgin. Okay, anyway.
What the hell?
Okay. Anyway. So look, the thing is, you don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Anyway, so do you think being able to have those experiences, like, that people find them like one of the most desirable, pleasurable things that the human experience has to give us, do you think you somehow have that opportunity to do that because it all just exists for just no rhyme or reason, no purpose? It just
It doesn't need.
randomly.
Okay, so I will answer your question. It doesn't need some sort of intrinsic purpose in order for it to function, right? People generally use the word purpose and main function interchangeably, right? So if you're having something like, pleasure during intercourse or whatever, we have that because it seems that life wants to survive. Everything here wants to pass down its offspring, wants to continue its generation. It's not something that we can understand why it happens. It's just that the things that don't do that aren't currently here to share that experience. So everything evolves to be able to pass down its DNA, and pleasure during intercourse makes, passing down your DNA easier.
Okay.
It's why we
Okay.
form certain bonds and connections with people. Things
Right.
evolve to make living easier,
Okay. Very
right?
good. I'm
Because
satisfied.
this earth is constantly
So Venus,
changing
let me ask
and
you
it's
another
not
question.
made for us.
So Venus, okay, well, yeah, that's up for debate. So could sheets of metal, wire, engines, and seats lying around in hangar ever come
Oh
together
my
by
God.
chance to form a fully operational
If you
airplane
put them,
capable
if
of
you put
flying
them,
safely
if
and
you put
efficiently?
them in the same, if you put them in the same container and shake them around for a
Yeah,
couple of billions of years, there
right.
might be a chance that they do.
Wow, so you're actually insane. Okay, so here's the thing. So folks,
Put it in
so
a
what
container,
you
shake it
no. So
around.
Venus. So what you're doing is you're appealing to just the most batshit crazy, astronomical, like insane odds, right? Which are just like unfathomable. And you're trying to invoke this type of improbability as a way to cope and deny the very simple, most basic parsimonious answer, which is that it was intelligently designed through intentional guidance and
Rebel.
creation. I don't
What
know.
does it mean
I
to
don't get why
Rebel?
you're
What
doing
does it
that.
mean to intelligent? what it means to intelligently design something, like I spent loads of time carefully writing out in my opening argument, is to have something that serves its intended purpose or cannot come about by natural means.
Venus, where did
All
life
these
come from?
examples, all these
Venus, where did life
examples
come
that
from?
you, okay, do you want to know about abiogenesis?
No. Okay.
Can you tell me, okay,
believe
what
in
is the
evolution, right?
strongest,
You believe in evolution?
Rebel, what is the strongest kind of chemical bond? A hydrogen
Unfortunately,
bond.
it's not.
Do you
Time's up.
understand? Do you,
No. You can ask me
the
that
Okay.
during your
parts of
time.
Time's
the
up.
parts
Time's
of
up. We're cutting
DNA
it.
are hydrogen.
Okay.
Okay, Venus, it's time for your cross-examination for 5 minutes. You can start at any time.
Okay, Rebel, if this planet was made to sustain life, why is there multiple extinction events that have happened in the past?
I don't know what extinction event you're talking about.
You don't believe the ice age ever happened? You don't believe that there's been droughts in certain places?
Drought, sure. Ice age, I can even grant you that. But what's the problem with that?
My whole point is, if everything was tuned for life, why is it that life is so scarce? And why is it that life has
Yes.
to continuously evolve to survive?
Wait,
Why
wait,
is that if this place
wait,
was
wait.
made for us?
So how could life be scarce when at the most micro to macro levels the Earth is just absolutely teeming with biological life? I mean, even down to the very
It's
soil,
not.
there's an entire
It's not.
ecosystem there. What do you mean? No, it's
So
not.
there is ecosystems, but those things that you're talking about aren't considered to be sentient life. If you're
It's still
arguing
life,
that
though.
even back,
You're
are you
shifting the
arguing
goalposts.
that this place? Wait, are you arguing that this place is fine tuned for the life of bacteria as well?
All sorts of life. You're shifting the goalposts by saying it's not sentient. That's all you're doing.
What do you consider to be alive? Because if there are more trees than there are stars in the Milky Way galaxy, and trees are not alive, then how can you argue that this place is just crawling with life? There's bacteria and viruses, but when you take up the total mass of living things versus non-living things, we are
Viruses aren't even
completely
considered alive, first
dominated.
of all.
The Earth consists of most things that aren't alive. There's plenty of uninhabited territory
Hold
that
on.
is
Do you know why?
flourishing with nature.
You know why though, right, Venus? Do you know why? Do you know why I can grant you the Earth doesn't consist mostly of life? Well, guess what? Because there has to be some sort of setting, a foundation, a place where that life can actually live on. Duh, that's what the environment's for.
Rebel,
Hello.
Rebel, if we didn't evolve, then why the hell do we have something called a recurrent laryngeal nerve? Can you please tell me that? Why
No,
does
no,
our
no.
recurrent laryngeal nerve
Yeah,
go
whatever
down,
the.
do a
Uh huh.
U-turn, and go back up?
Okay.
If it wasn't for
Yeah.
if it wasn't for the fact that we used to have gills, then why do we have that? Are you aware of that?
Venus. Here's the thing. Whatever type of nerve you're talking about, it doesn't stop me from living my life in a
Why do
thriving
whales
way.
have
I have no
why do
problem.
whales have femur bones?
This nerve doesn't stop me from living my life.
Oh my god.
Okay?
I claim my time. I claim my time. This is so
Oh,
off topic.
God.
It's not about whether you can live your life or not. It's whether this is
Yes, it
supporting
is.
argument for creationism or not. I don't care whether you can.
You're appealing to ignorance.
Oh my god.
You're appealing to
Rebel?
ignorance
I'm
by
not.
saying,
Why do
you
Rebel?
can't fathom why the nerve
Why? No,
is
no.
made
We
that
know
way,
why. We know.
therefore it wasn't
No, no. We
designed.
know
Like,
why.
what?
We know why we have the
Begging the
fossil
question.
record. Why do whales? Why
Fossil
do
record.
whales have? Why do whales have femurs if whales could never walk?
Wait. That's first of all, that's your interpretation of what it is. You have no proof that a whale came from like through ancestry.
Why do whales
from
have
anything
femurs?
other than another whale, Venus? You have no proof of that.
Why
All
do
you have
whales?
is
Why do
fossils.
whales have femurs?
Wait, that's your arbitrary designation on some anatomical feature through your evolutionary sort of bias.
Why does
That's
life?
all it is.
Why does life have to constantly struggle and strive to
Go on.
survive if this place was made for it?
What do you mean? There's a bunch of different
Hello?
factors to the environment, right? That maybe other factors that are not so intended. I mean, all these different things have to come into play. You're taking like this very myopic reductionist approach and not looking into all the harmonious symbiotic
So lost.
relationships that life has with the environment.
They're not
to actually make it thrive.
harmonious. How is this? How is this harmonious?
You haven't heard of
People are
symbiosis?
constantly.
There's no such thing as
I know what
symbiosis.
bro. I know what symbiosis is.
Okay,
It's
then
not
that's harmony,
relevant.
isn't it?
How is
How's
that?
that? Oh my God, bro.
You're using all these emotionally loaded words like harmony, symbiosis, beauty. What is the evidence that this is created? I still don't get it. So far, all you've said is that it looks like it has a function. Right, that's something I can attribute to nature. That provides a better explanation, except for the fact that nature also explains why we have things like recurrent laryngeal nerves, why whales have femurs, why we have tailbones. My
But
explanation of evolutionary
Venus,
biology provides a better answer for why we have all these
Venus,
things. You're just saying that they're
dude,
created.
Venus, you literally
What is
believe
the
that a
what is the
gigantic
evidence? Oh my
marine
God,
creature like the
dude, what is
whale,
the evidence? What is the
dude,
okay? So
Venus,
how do we
you actually
rebel?
think it
Can
came
someone?
from
Finish your
Okay,
final
can you
single
stop
point.
him?
cell organism?
So I have a question for him.
What's the proof of that?
What
Yeah.
are the
Hold on.
characteristics of things that are designed? That would be my
Okay.
final question.
Rebel answer.
Well, as I already said in my opening, order, structure, symmetry, function, those at the very least are indicative of design, which of course ultimately will point to a designer. It's very simple.
Okay, we're gonna stop there. Rebel, you're gonna do your 2 minute conclusion, and then Venus will follow after. So you can start at any time.
Right. Okay. So thank you very much, Venus. Thank you for doing this debate with me. So for my closing, so folks, what you were able to witness was the utter logical inconsistency, double standards, and rationally and empirically unjustified worldview of the atheist. If we got into evolution a little more, that would have been demonstrated. But when asked if certain artifacts could have assembled by themselves, she reasonably denied the notion, but actually, to my surprise, she actually admitted that it would actually be possible, which to me is nothing but pure copium. But when asked why the same principle wouldn't also apply to the natural world, it was just special pleading that it completely goes against the law of entropy, which says that things always go from a state of order to that of disorder unless some sort of intervention of energetic inputs or something along those lines came into play. But the bottom line is order does not form out of chaos, structure does not form out of randomness, and function certainly doesn't arise out of spontaneous generation. This magnificent universe is not the result of random series of unguided, unintentional events for no rhyme, no reason, or no purpose, but rather it is clearly the glorious handiwork of an intelligent designer, our God Almighty. Thank you very much.
All
You're
right.
concluding there. Okay, you
Okay.
had
So
23 seconds left, and
so
Venus, you can start anytime.
that was a load of complete nonsense. The characteristics he attributed, once again, they apply to everything. I could simply assert the contrary and this debate would be over. I could simply assert that order, functions and, you know, principles affecting these things are a sign of non-design in nature. I could simply assert the opposite and we would sit here bickering back and forth. The fact is that when we come to understanding what a thing is by its substance would be its delineation from other things. If everything is made up of the same fundamental particles, how do we tell anything apart? By its characteristics, by its differences that it has to other things. Identity is relational. Left is left because right is right. The way we get to something being designed versus non-designed, these terms came about because we have things like rocks, because we have things like computers. We understand there is a difference between a rock and a computer. Rocks come about naturally. Computers don't come about naturally. We can trace back the first computer. We can't trace back the first rock. The criteria that Rebel has given us is completely and utterly ridiculous. He's gathered a group of terms that apply to everything that we can see and has grouped it under creation. So I can group it under non-creation. This line of argument doesn't prove anything. And the fact that he's saying it's random is simply our incredulity. When we call anything random, it simply means we don't understand the forces that apply to it. DNA and all these things are hydrogen bonded. It's not like putting a bunch of, pots and pans and expecting them to make a soup. It's more like having a magnet with a positive charge and a magnet with a negative charge and putting them together. They come together because of the laws of physics. The same with the party. Um,
Your dog's
Please
cooked.
give me 5 more seconds. Give me 5 more seconds.
Finish the last
What's
sentence.
going on?
Finish the last sentence.
The criteria that he assigned for things that are created, I could simply assign for things that are not created.
That's all you have to say?
That was beautiful. That was one of the best. My opinion, that was one of the best debates tonight.
Yeah,
It was just hilarious.
Well,
I think that was amongst one of the best debates tonight. There were moments where I wanted to laugh, and I had to, be professional and hold that shit in. But you guys did well.
Yeah.
can I respond to something? Fredo, in the comments, you've been kicked from every single debate. No one wants to talk to you because you bring up the same refutation for abiogenesis that has been debunked a million times. A
Damn.
million times. You asked me, I've sat him down and dog walked him. He doesn't understand anything to do with DNA.
Okay. Anyway, so
You have been laid waste by every debater on here. You've been laid to waste. Everyone has had a turn of you. You are a glory hole, Fredo, on this
okay.
app. You are a
Anyway,
glory hole.
UG versus the Hero fans is next.
Thank you guys for watching.
No, we're just gonna
Rebel,
move
I honestly can't take you seriously. This is like,
on. Oh my God.
Dude, you said
I genuinely can't take you
Right? You're a
seriously,
weirdo.
man.
Bro, you're a weirdo. You said nature isn't
You're the
beautiful.
one who was asking me about bro was literally asking me about my sex life. Now I'm a weirdo.
Alrighty, guys. Well, we got it, club.
I would ask anybody that question.
Appreciate you guys for joining.
Yeah, that makes you a weirdo if you would ask anyone
Give
that.
Venus a follow. Go drop Rebel a follow.
like that.
Appreciate you guys for attending the show. Take care, guys.
Thank you guys for being here.
You got cooked, Rebel. You got cooked. Bye, guys.
Make sure you guys vote. The polls are up.
Yep, the poll is up. It's right here in this corner to vote whether Venus or Rebel won.